Hi guys, I'm David with Media Unlocked, and today I'm going to be showing you how to balance a Flycam. This tutorial will work with most any Flycams, but every Flycam is going to be a little bit different. The model of Flycam I'm using specifically is the Monocam CF Pro. If you guys are interested in checking it out, there'll be a link right here. We have a full review and we'll kind of walkthrough of the product as well. I'll add a link down below if you guys are interested in picking one of these up. So there are a couple different things that go into balancing your monocams or your Flycams, I should say. The biggest thing is practice. That is the biggest thing that you can possibly do. When I first got this a couple months ago, I was absolutely horrible at it, and I am nowhere near professional at doing this. But I do have the balancing down fairly well, and I can shoot fairly steady footage. Even the footage that I shot when we did the walkthrough and review of the actual product was not as great as what I'm able to produce now. This walkthrough tutorial will work for most Flycams, but every Flycam is going to be a little bit different. The nice thing about the Monocam CF Pro, if you're using a DSLR camera, you pretty much don't have to worry about your weights. You screw these bad boys in. As you can see, I've got them screwed in like this. You screw these bad boys in, and you don't have to worry about adjusting your weight at all, which is a big, big thing with a lot of Flycams on the market, kind of like the Glidecam series. The Glidecams, you got to be very meticulous with making sure your weights are in the right place. Where this, you just screw these bad boys in, and then you just have to do your basic other adjustments. So anyways, let's get started on balancing this bad boy. As you can see, I've got it way out of balance right now, so I'm going to pull it back into balance and show you guys how I do it. And then in part 2, our next video, I'm going to go over some techniques that I think I've learned that helps with how to hold it. So there's a huge process in understanding how to balance and work one of these Flycams, and I feel like there really aren't any very good tutorials on YouTube about it, because there's a lot of different things that tie into it, and if they all your ducks aren't lined up in a row, it's really hard to get a nice steady shot. So the first thing I do is I take off this foam piece that goes on the handle of this. The foam piece moves around a little too much. It doesn't throw the balancing off that much, but I'm able to get a much better grip on this aluminum piece right here. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to do what's called a drop test. Now we're going to do a couple of drop tests throughout the balancing to make sure that everything stays together. So pretty much what a drop test is, it's taking your camera and it is figuring out where the exact balance is, like this. So as you can see, I am top heavy at the moment. My camera weighs way more than this at the moment because of where this is at. So if I want to get it more balanced, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew this. We're going to slide this up some. For people with the Glidecams, you'll be using the bottom piece down here where you'll attach this, and you'll pretty much be able to move your pole. Well, let's see if I can pull out this monocam so it gives you kind of an idea. So you'll pretty much unscrew and you'll move a pole in and out like this on the Glidecam series. Again, with the monocam, it's kind of nice. We have a piece that slides right here, which makes things much easier. So now what we'll do is we'll tighten this, and we'll kind of see we're still a little top heavy. So we need to bring this up a tad bit more. And we're probably going to be a little bottom heavy after this one, I'm guessing. So, okay, so that's pretty well balanced, almost dead on. So what you want is you want a couple seconds of this to just go pretty much like 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3, up. And that's how you want it to swing back and forth when you get your drop test. So what I've done is I've figured out that it's pretty much evenly balanced right here from top to bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up a little bit more, so this is going to fall down nice and smooth. So we'll bring this up just a tad bit. Now guys, this is everything that I've taught myself and watched other people's tutorials and reviews. So people out there that have been doing this professionally for years, feel free to leave comments down below if you see something that I'm doing wrong, but this is how I'm able to get the shots and do what I'm doing. Again, everything that I've learned about how to use this product is by watching other people's videos as well, and then adding in a few of my own things. So now we move that up a tad bit more, so we should be able to, 1, 2, okay. So we got 2 seconds in, so not nearly enough, but we need to just move this up just a tad bit more, not much at all. All right. And we should be able to hit that 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we just need just a tad bit more to really get that full 3 seconds in. And we should have it right now. So again, set it up. 1, 2, and 3. Much better. All right. So once that's done, what I like to use, now you can do this by hand where you can sit here and you can move it forwards and backwards and side to side. But the best way that I've found is pull out a stand. I have a kind of a nice sturdy stand right here. It's going to throw it off a tad bit because when you stick it on there, as you notice, there's going to be a little bit, the actual camera is kind of leaning out a tad bit to my left or to your right. So, you know, you can try to straighten it up and hold it like that and kind of give you a good idea. And that's what I'll do right at the end, right as I'm getting my last few touches. I'll pull it back up like this and I'll try to straighten it out and see where what I need to fix. Again, about halfway through this process, we'll do another drop test just to make sure that everything is still balanced, because things can come out of balance really easy when you're dealing with these Flycams. They're very difficult. They have a very steep learning curve. And like I said, I've been shooting for the last 2 months. And there for the first month, I shot for 1 hour to 2 hours a day on this thing. And I don't even consider myself anywhere near an expert because these are so difficult to balance. So what we're going to do starting off, as you notice, we're leaning a little bit forwards. The nice thing is we're not leaning one side to the other too much. So you do have the option right here on the left to go side to side. So if you're leaning this way or you're leaning that way, but right now we're just leaning way too forward, way too forwards. That doesn't even sound right. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it back some, and we're going to just try to get it evened out. So now we'll let it go. Now we're too far back, so we need to bring it up some. And we'll bring it here. All right, let's see how that looks. So as you notice, I'm leaning a little bit backwards, and my camera is swaying a tad bit to my right or your guys' left. So again, we'll unlock this and we will move a tad bit forwards, but not too much. All right, so now we'll see where we stand here. So I'm still leaning a little bit backwards. I'm not swaying too much to my right or your guys' left, so we still need to get this camera moving a tad bit forwards. All right, even it out. See where we stand. So now it is not moving, it's swaying just a tad bit, and sometimes you've got to walk around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it's nice and steady. Let go of it really nice. Let it see where it swings. Sometimes we'll step back so I can actually get a good view. Again, you can balance it. When you get really good, you can balance it in your hand and do this. This is the easiest and fastest way to do it when you first start doing these Flycams. So I'm still leaning a little bit, such a small bit backwards. So we need to move just a hair forward still. So we're going to unlock and just a tiny hair. And what we'll do is we'll let it stabilize again. So it looks pretty stable to me. We'll go side to side. So what I'll do is I'll step back and see if I'm leaning one side to the other. I could be leaning a little bit to the right. Again, your guys left, but not 100% positive. It's kind of hard to tell. So then we'll do this. We'll straighten it up and see how it looks. And I am swaying ever so slightly to the right. Again, when you get good with your technique on how you hold the monocams or the Flycams on the market, a tad bit of error is not going to actually cause you to throw you off. When I'm almost as close as I am right now, I can probably take this out and get some really nice steady shots. It does not have to be dead on. I mean, just perfect. I think a lot of people say it does, but I've gotten some great shots where it's not perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to test the drop test. We'll see where we're at with the drop test. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So drop test is good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out. Now, one of the ways to hold this device, I've seen some people hold it from behind. That's how I used to hold it. As you can notice, it's leaning a little bit to my right. I find that bringing it out here, holding it like this allows you to adjust for any kind of anything that happens. So if you know you're moving and you can kind of feel it wanting to go to the right, well, what you can do is you can pull down on this like this, and it will kind of push it back to the left. So you're able to control it more. And again, you have your two hands that you can use like this, or you can use a system setup like this. So what we'll do now is we'll bring it back and forth. As you can see, we're still swaying a little bit. We're a little top heavy. We'll try that once more. So we may have to put it back on there and rebalance. And as you can notice, we're still a tad bit top heavy. So what we'll do is rebalance this, take a look at it, step back, see where we're swaying, and we might have to do a drop test, and that might be the reason that we're swaying back and forth like that, is because we're pretty well balanced like this. But again, if you come back and forth like this, as you can see, it's moving top heavy. So what we'll do is sit this back up, drop it, and it might be dropping a little fast. So what we might do is bring it down just a tad bit. Again, you're going to have to do your drop test a few different times to get everything exactly perfect. And we'll see. All right, and that looks like that may work a little bit better. So we'll throw it on the side here again. And as you can notice, we're still getting a little bit of sway, but not as much. So again, we're going to need to bring this down just a tad bit more. Again, just a hair. That's the other thing with these Flycams. Moving things is minuscule as you possibly can sometimes is all it takes. If you move it way too much one way or way too much the other way, that can be an issue. So set back up, drop test. There you go. It's a little bit slower than I like it, but again, not an issue. And as you notice, it doesn't go all over the place when it's doing the drop test. Your camera's not going side to side. That means that you're pretty well balanced. So we'll set back up, and there you go. As you notice, you're not getting nearly as much sway. And we'll put it back on here to double check it. But for the most part, this is a fairly well balanced. So let's look at this again. We're sliding a little back to forth. We're going to let it stop. I think we're sitting a little bit back, so we might need to. So yeah, it seems that it's leaning backwards a little bit. So what we're going to do is, again, minuscule, such a small, like a hair movement. All right, and now we'll adjust it and let it go. And I did more than a minuscule, it looks like, and I did too much. It does happen. And we'll let it sit. And still leaning a little bit back. And again, this can take, the first time I did this, it took me 45 minutes to balance it, maybe an hour. And that's with the help of people, the few videos that are on the market on YouTube. So we're still leaning a little bit back. So we still need to move a minuscule forward. Such a small amount. All right, so we're back. As I was saying, we're still moving. We're still leaning a tad bit forward now instead of a tad bit backwards. It's so hard because you got to move this such a small amount. All right, and I feel like this may be, and that's pretty good, I think. I think we got her balanced. And as you can notice, she's balanced. She's still a tad bit top heavy, but again, once you get your technique down on how to hold it, I do a technique like this, you're able to get a really nice smooth shot. So now, in our second video, I'm going to show you guys how to hold it. And this is, again, what I've taught myself by doing this over and over and over again, is spinning. I don't know, I probably have maybe a good 50 hours, maybe 50 to 75 hours of practice with this. So I feel like you need a couple hundred hours of practice with this before you can consider yourself an expert on it. So hopefully this helps you guys out. But in our second video, I'm going to show you the techniques that I've used to help keep it balanced. Once I've balanced this, how to hold it in my hand and balance it. Because even though that this is balanced, if you don't know how to hold it right, it's still going to be off balance. If you don't know how to walk, hold it, and this is all stuff that I've taught myself, and I'm able to get fairly smooth shots with it. So a lot of the, if you guys haven't already seen, I got this video of my trip in Montana to Colorado, and a lot of that is shot with this, most of it shot with this, and you can see how smooth some of the shots are. And if you look really hard, a couple of the shots are a little bit shaky, and like there's a few snow shots where the camera shakes just a tad bit if you really pay attention, and that's because I wasn't able to walk the way I needed to walk in 5 inches of snow. It was very difficult, so it threw my walk off, it threw my balance off, which threw this off. So anyways, hope this helps you out. I'm David with Media Unlocked. Check us out at Facebook at David D Images, Twitter at Media Unlocked, and of course our awesome website, MediaUnlocked.net, where we got lots of really exciting write-ups. Brian has been working on some Magic Lantern stuff that's going to be coming out over the next couple months. And we're getting ready to, I think, put out a T2I one, if it isn't already out by the time you guys watch this. So you should go check all that out. All the links for everything will be down below. And you guys have a great day. We'll catch you next time here on Media Unlocked.